to handle the window elements using the auto-IT script. First, we need to build the script to automate the operations on the Windows GUI. The script we need to compile into some exe file. That exe file we have to call from your Selenium test case. Wherever you are planning to handle the window component, there you have to call the exe file created to handle the window component. That is the concept of handling window elements. Generally in web application testing, when you have a file upload option, when you have a file download option, there only you see some window component. You can make use of a third-party tool, auto-IT, because in Selenium, you don't have the features to handle the windows because it is made for web application testing. Now, for today, let me explain how to fetch the data from database applications using Java and Jdbc. Listen. You know, our project data will store in the database. In the database, there will be some table or tables where your data will be stored. Maybe the Primus Bank application data or HRM application data will be maintained in database tables. Okay. The database can be SQL Server. The Primus Bank application database is SQL Server. The database may be the MySQL. The Orange HRM application database is MySQL. Or the database can be Oracle, whatever. The concept here we are learning using this Java. Using Java, how to retrieve the data from database application. Let's assume it is my Java. Now, if you want to fetch the data from database application, in the Java there is a package called java.sql. This package provided some classes and interfaces. In addition to this, based on the database type you are trying to communicate. Supposing I want to fetch the data from SQL Server. Now, we have to download and associate a API, Jdbc driver. The Jdbc drivers, Java database connectivity, Jdbc drivers available for SQL Server, available for MySQL, even available for Oracle. Supposing in the Java program, I want to fetch the data from Primus Bank application database. Repeat. I want to retrieve the data from Primus Bank application database, which is SQL Server database. I have to download and associate SQL Server Jdbc driver. If I'm working on RNHRM project, whose database is MySQL, not SQL Server Oracle. In this context, I have to download MySQL Jdbc driver, which enable us to interact with the database application to fetch the data from the databases. So today we learn how to use this Jdbc driver in Java programming in order to fetch the data from database application. This helps us to develop DB testing scenarios with the Selenium. Hope you understood this concept. Concept is we have to standalone Java provided a package called java.sql where you have the basic common database operation. If you are working on a particular database application, appropriate Jdbc driver we have to download and associate the jar files to your Java project so that using Jdbc driver classes and interfaces, we can able to fetch the data from appropriate database application. First, note down this diagram. I'll give the precise notes, then we talk about the technicals. Note down this diagram. Working with database applications in Java programming. Working with database applications in Java programming. in Java programming using JDBC. Using JDBC. First, you note down this diagram. I'll give the notes about it. Then we continue the technicals. Finish. Take some little notes about the same. JDBC stands for Java Database Connectivity. Java Database Connectivity. Java Database Connectivity which is used to automate the database operations, in Java programming. The JDBC stands for Java Database Connectivity, which is used to automate database operations in Java programming. Okay. Now, first you need to decide what type of database we are communicating with. SQL Server, Oracle, or MySQL, XYZ. Based on the database type you are trying to communicate with Java, we need to download appropriate JDBC driver, jar files, associate to your Java project. To communicate with SQL Server, separate plugin available, SQL Server JDBC driver. You know, Microsoft made SQL Server to communicate with programming languages like Python or Java or C#. They made some interfaces. MySQL company designed some interfaces like that. Oracle Corporation given an interface, OJDBC, to communicate with Oracle database using Java programming. So we have to download and associate appropriate JDBC drivers to communicate with corresponding database application. Continue the notes. We have to use appropriate JDBC driver. Like SQL JDBC, MySQL JDBC, to work with appropriate database application. Listen. See here, I'm creating a new Java project to explain this JDBC topic. I'm creating a new Java project with the name DB testing project. I given it some name like this, a DB testing project. The name is the DB testing project, but basically it is a Java project as of now, correct? Basically it is a Java project. Okay. I created a package, for example, demos. I created a class like this. See here, java.sql package. In Java, there is a package called java.sql. This package provided connection one interface. It is used to establish the database connection. Driver manager, another class. It is available in java.sql package. Statement interface present in java.sql package. And the result set. It is available in java.sql package. Java provided some classes and interfaces which are used to perform some common operation on any database application. In addition to the java.sql package, you need some extra classes or methods. In addition to java.sql package classes, you need some extra classes which are specifically designed to work with Oracle, MySQL, and SQL Server. Better you take some short notes about this. Java provided java.sql package. This package provided connection, list out one by one, connection, driver manager, statement, the result set. Here I interface, C for class. Interfaces and classes. Java.sql package provided, connection, driver manager, statement, result set, interfaces and classes. To automate database operations. To automate database operations. Actually, these classes and interfaces provided some methods which are common operations related to any database application. Now, in addition to these classes and interfaces in addition to these classes and interfaces, we have to associate appropriate JDBC driver classes, JDBC driver API to work with specific database application. In addition to all these classes and interfaces available in java.sql package, we need some extra classes and interfaces that comes with appropriate JDBC driver API to perform database operations on a particular database application. Listen, as of now, we have only Java here, correct? Only Java here, because I created a Java project. Now, if I want to fetch the data from SQL Server, see actually what type of database it is? This one. What is the database software it is?
SQL Server.
Right. In java.sql package, we have common operations, not specific to a particular database type. So in addition to classes and interfaces available in java.sql package, we need some extra classes or interfaces which are specially designed to work with SQL Server. See, in Google, I'm just typing SQL Server JDBC driver. See, many people are downloading and using it. SQL Server JDBC driver. This is a plugin or a API specially designed to work with SQL Server in Java programming. You can download this from Microsoft.com because SQL Server belongs to Microsoft. Microsoft designed this library, SQL Server JDBC driver, to interact with their product SQL Server using Java programming. Download Microsoft JDBC driver for SQL Server. Microsoft Java database connectivity. This you have to download. But you can download this actually. Registration, directly it is downloading. Good. Earlier it is used to ask the company registration something. Now it's not asking anything. See here, we have Microsoft SQL Server, JDBC for Java 8, Java 11, Java 15. We have different jar files here. Did you observe that? Based on the Java version you are using. So which version you want me to go with? Which one you want me to take? This one. This I can extract I'll put somewhere in my C drive. Selenium work. Then you can associate that. Like other APIs, how we associate Java build path, add external jar in my C drive, Selenium work, this one. Actually, previously I downloaded this. It is for MySQL JDBC. It is. It is for SQL Server, Microsoft SQL. This you can associate. Applied. Okay. Now, you have associated the jar file, com.microsoft.sqlserver.jdbc. This provided some please observe, there is a class available here. What is the name of the class? SQL Server driver. This class is specially designed to work with SQL Server using Java programming. Got it? Similarly, supposing in the Java program, you want to retrieve the data from another database, MySQL. What is this database type? Previous one is SQL Server. It is another database, MySQL. We have Oracle also. Now what I will do, through Java programming, I want to interact with MySQL. What we have to do? Since you are following what I'm saying, you tell me what we have to do now? We have to download MySQL Jdbc. To interact with a specific database type, we have different Jdbc drivers. Based on the database type you are trying to communicate with, we need to download appropriate database Jdbc driver. From mysql.com, you can download it. Actually, this is a good website, java2s.com, where you have all, Jdbc drivers. Or you can get it from here. Or you can get from here also. There are many websites provide this. Java2s.com is a good one. MySQL Jdbc driver. This you can download. Already earlier I downloaded it. It's available in my C drive. Selenium work. It is the Jdbc driver, com.mysql. Right. So, if you want to work with MySQL, what do you have to do? In the Java programming, you want to work with MySQL, what do you have to do? This is not... This is to work with SQL Server for Java. I removed it. You have to add a jar file, MySQL Jdbc file, to work with MySQL using Java programming. Now, in this MySQL Jdbc driver file, we have a package called com.mysql.jdbc. we have driver class. We'll see. We'll see how to use this. The connection interface. We'll discuss about this. Okay. Now, there are three major steps. There are three major steps to be followed to retrieve data from database applications. What are the three major steps we have to follow? The first one, at first we need to establish database connection. Is the first step. First, we have to establish the database connection. What it is. See, here in my Java project, I associated SQL Server or MySQL Jdbc driver. My database server available somewhere. First, you need to establish a connection. It is the first step. After establishing the connection, we'll discuss about the technicals, how to establish the connection through Java coding. Once the connection is established, you need to send a SQL query. Select star from EMP or whatever it may be. We have to send SQL commands. Step 2, send SQL statement or SQL query. Once the connection established, based on the data I want to fetch, I wanted all employee details, select star from EMP. I wanted count of employees, select count of staff from EMP. Based on the data you want to fetch from the database using Java, we have to send the SQL query to the database. It is your second step. Now, connection established, you send a SQL command to the database. The SQL query will return the results. You need to process the results, use the results the way you need it. The SQL command will be executed. The output will be returned. You have to make use of the output as you require. These are the three major steps involved in working with database applications. Let me explain the technicals, how to do this. Just a minute. Let's see. What is the first step? What is the first step here?
Establish the connection to database connection.
In the code, in the Java code, you have to make a database connection. Right. Let's see how to establish the database connection. First, we have to load, otherwise we have to invoke corresponding Jdbc driver class. How? There is a class in Java. The name of the class itself is class. The Java class name itself is class. Any Java class you can instantiate, invoke using class dot funny. You have to give the class path. Here, first let me explain what I'm trying to do. In this MySQL, because my RNHRM application database is MySQL. I'm teaching you on that RNHRM here. Here, first you need to establish a connection to the RNHRM application database, which is MySQL database. So I have associated MySQL Jdbc driver to our Java project. In this MySQL Jdbc driver, in the package com.mysql.jdbc, in this package, there is a class driver. This driver class, we have to create the instance of this driver class. Package name, okay, sorry, here. In the com.mysql.jdbc, there is a class called driver. It is my class path. This class we have to load. I have to create the new instance of the class. It creates a new instance of the specified class. Maybe you've given a wrong class path. We need to add an exception, class not found exception. What is this class not found? Let's see. Wantedly, I'm doing a mistake here. The driver D I'm giving in the lower case. When I run this, I receive an exception now, class not found. Because I made a mistake in the class path, class name otherwise. Let me correct it. When I run the code, it will create the instance of the MySQL. No errors here. What do you mean by creating the instance? Listen, manually I am opening MySQL right here. See, manually I am opening MySQL from my desktop. Same Java will do during runtime in the system background. To access the data from MySQL or SQL server, we have to invoke the MySQL, or we have to open the SQL server. Same this will do. It will invoke the MySQL during runtime in the system background. Now you are understanding what I'm saying here? What this step will do? This will open the MySQL in the system background during runtime when I run the code. Here, manually, I am opening MySQL in my desktop. Same Java will do new instance, will create the new instance of the MySQL. Okay. As simple. Temporarily, what I will do to teach this again, I'm commenting this code. Wantedly here, I'm associating Selenium to this project. As you know about the Selenium API classes, I'm associating Selenium here. Okay. Selenium API associated to my Java project. Done. Now, in the Selenium, in a package, org.openqa.selenium.firefox. Okay, in this package. org.openqa.selenium.firefox. In this package, I have Firefox driver 1 class. I said any class you can instantiate like this. Class dot fun name. You have to give the class path. org dot openqa dot selenium. In this package, there is a class called Firefox driver. It is my Firefox driver class path. New instance. You tell me what this will do. It will create the instance of the Firefox driver class. Nothing but when I run this code, it will open the Firefox. You please observe. It's opening the Firefox. I open the Firefox in the other manner. Any Java class, we can create an instance like this. As you know about this, to explain this, I did it. The same way, this will open the MySQL server. When I run the Java code, it will open the MySQL server in the system background. Okay. After opening MySQL, you need to give the connection details. How? Now, there is an interface called connection. Connection is the interface. Connection, subname dbcon equal to, there's a class driver manager. A driver manager class provided a method get connection with 3 arguments: database path, username and password to access your database. It needs 3 arguments: database URL, your user ID and password to access the database. First argument DB URL, database URL. Second argument your database user ID and the database password. Now first here, I'm declaring some variable, one to store DB URL, one variable to store the user ID value, one variable to store the password value. Right. So what is DB URL? Generally, the DB URL format will be like this: Jdbc colon, database name MySQL colon, sorry, not dot colon, Jdbc colon, database name MySQL colon, 2 forward slashes. You have to give the IP address of the server, IP address or name of the server where the SQL server is, sorry, MySQL server is available. For your practice purpose, what I did, in our website projects.qatech.com, if you go to this Orange HRM, we have given MySQL connection details for your practice purpose. The IP address qatech.com, database name Orange HRM 2020, the user ID and password to access this database. These connection details you have to give in the code. Host name qatech.com. We deployed Orange HRM application database in our website qatech.com. So qatech.com and colon, you have to give the port number where MySQL is available on the server. It's actually common port number for any server. Let's see, MySQL listener or port number. If you install MySQL in a server, by default, MySQL will be installed on a port number called 3306. It's a default port number for MySQL. The port number we have to give. /. You have to give the name of the database. Name of our RNHRM application database, RNHRM 2020. That I'm giving here. Then, you please go to the URL format once again. JDBC : MySQL : 2 / IP address or name of the host. I can give the IP address of my website, qhtech.com, where the RNHRM application is configured, deployed, or name of the host, qhtech.com, : the port number where MySQL is listening, 3306, / name of the database. Name of our database is RNHRM. For your practice purpose, we have given the host name here, database name here, username and password to access. Now this is my DB user. For learning purpose, my person created a username and password to access this database, QHRM. It is a username. Password 12345. Now, you need to add the exception. Oh, sorry, one moment. I took connection from the wrong package. I have to take the connection interface available in java.sql. Not from here, in java.sql. Now, maybe the URL you have given wrong, database may be wrong, username, password may be wrong. We have to add an exception, SQL exception, SQL exception. What is this SQL exception? For any reason your Java code not able to make a successful connection during runtime, we receive SQL exception. For example, actually my password is 12345 to access the database. Wanted, I am giving something else. When I run this, your code not able to make a successful connection because of the wrong password, we are getting SQL exception 3. Access is denied for the user. Actually, it is my IP address. In place of qhtech.com, you can use this IP address. But easy to remember, instead of IP address, host name. For any reason, your code not able to make a successful connection, you get the exception, SQL exception. Access denied for the user because of wanted I given the wrong password. Now, let me correct this password. One, two, three, four, five. Generally, in real time also, you will be given some dummy username and password to access the DB for DB testing. I corrected my password. Let me run the code. If I'm not getting any exception now, if I'm not receiving any exception, first step is successful. Connection made successful. Yes, done. There is no exception, meaning your Java able to make a connection to the RNHRM application database. It is the first step. You are able to follow this? You are able to understand this? So no doubt it is really, actually, in Java course, it comes under advanced Java programming. But whatever you understood, Praksha understood, it's a little advanced concept in Java. But from my end, I'm teaching you how to access database using Java programming, so that maybe in the interview, if any question you encountered, you may able to answer little about it. Well. The first step, establishing database connection in Java coding. We made a connection to RNHRM application database, which is MySQL database now. Now, based on the data you want to fetch, based on the data you want to retrieve, You have to send a SQL statement to the database. First, you decide what is the data you wanted. MySQL Workbench. Give me a minute. Just a minute, it's not opening. I'll tell you. The step 2, we have to send some SQL query to database. I'll write it here. I have to send a SQL statement to the database. How? Statement is the interface available in java.sql. Statement is the interface present in java.sql package. Some name stmt equal to, already you made a connection, dbcon is a connection name. dbcon dot, in the established database connection, I want to create a SQL query, create a statement. Then statement dot, what is the SQL query you want to run? Execute query, execute. Execute query is a method. Here you have to give the SQL query. It executes the given SQL statement, which returns a string result set. You have to give the SQL command you want to run. The SQL command you want to run, you have to mention here. For example, select maximum of employee number from the table. Actually, we should know the table names of everything. In the RNHRM application database, there is a table called HS underscore HR underscore employee. In that, there is a column called employee number. And I want to return the maximum employee number available in this table. Some SQL command. It will return the result set. Execute the query, return the result set. Result set. Result set is another interface available in Java. I'm giving a name, for example, RS. This command will be executed. Whatever the results it returned, stored in the result set object, RS. You tell me if this command is executed, how many rows will be written? How many records will be written? Okay, you do one thing. It's not opening SQL Server properly, MySQL. Don't go anywhere. I just log off and log in again. When I restart the machine, I can able to connect to MySQL, then I'll continue, okay? Friends, just for a minute, I'm disconnecting. I restart my system. Again, I connect to Zoom meeting. When I restart my machine, I can able to open the MySQL so that you'll understand this concept clearly, okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
Let us continue this. See, I'm opening MySQL now. Right. I open MySQL. I'm connecting to, you please observe the port number here under qatech.com:3306. Manually, I'm connecting here. Same we are doing with the Java code. Manually, I'm connecting to MySQL. What is the database name here? RNHRM 2020. You please observe, this is what we have given in our Java code. The database name RNHRM 2020, host name qatech.com:3306, database name RNHRM 2020. Okay. And user ID password I have given. A database name RNHRM 2020. Same database we are connecting to Java code. There are many tables here. There is a table HS_HR_employee, this one. You please observe the table name HS_HR_employee. Now, I'm writing a query here. Select maximum of, maybe in this table, these are the columns available. EMP_number. EMP_number. From the table name, HS_HR_employee. I'm running the query manually here. I'm retrieving the maximum employee number already available in the table. What is the maximum employee number already available in this table?
409.
409. Let's see. In this RNHRM application, the admin module, admin can create a new employee. Already 409 employees already available. The maximum employee number already available in the database table 409. When you create a new employee, what is the expected value? Next employee number?
410.
Right. Okay, maybe it is, sorry, it is not employee number, employee ID it is printing. I'll do one thing. Directly, actually, I'm accessing the database of the RNHRM project, the live project. It's not any dummy database. The actual RNHRM application database straight away I'm accessing from the web. Employee_ID, not number, sorry. Employee_ID. See, what is the maximum employee ID already available in the table? $433. When you try to add a new employee, what is the expected value? 434. See here. When I'm trying to add a new employee, system generating employee ID 434. If you want to test it manually, we connect to MySQL. We retrieve the maximum employee already available in the database. 23. The maximum employee already available in the database plus 1 would be the expected value for 34. Now my DB test case is paused. DB testing paused in this context. If you really want to automate this scenario, first we need to fetch the maximum employee ID already available in the database. Plus 1 would be the expected value, correct? So this is the command I want to execute by the Java now. So retrieve the maximum employee ID already available in the database, store into result set. Okay. First step, establishing the connection. We made a connection to RHR application database with the username and password, whatever available for accessing. We sent some SQL command to the database, connected database, to fetch the required information. I'm retrieving the maximum employee number into some result set. The last step, step 3, process the results. Process the results. How? Now, here RS is a result set. Please observe here. Whatever we are seeing here, it is nothing but the result set. Agree? It is nothing but the results. You please observe the title results grid. This is what available in the result set. This is stored in the Java memory result set. Okay. By default, actually, cursor will be present top of the first row. I'll go to my Java code now. RS result set. Next. You please observe read the description. What is this next command? Next method. It moves the cursor forward one row from its current position. RS.next, move the cursor in the result set one record forward. The result set cursor initially positioned before the first row. So it will move the record pointer to the first row and return true. By default, cursor position top of the first row. I'll explain this. But I'll explain this in this way again. Listen. Now, the same thing. This is your Java, and this is your database. The database, we have a table. Using Jdbc, you made a connection to the database. You send some SQL statement, select maximum of employee number from the table. This we are keeping in the Java memory. What is the Java memory here? Result set, RS. Now, we have one value here, 300 and, I don't know, didn't remember, 433 something. Okay. By default, record pointer position top of the first row. RS.next will move the record pointer to here. Now I want to fetch this data. You have to give the column number, column name, otherwise. RS.next by default, record pointer position top of the first row. If you want to move to the first row, we have to use rs.next. Now we have to specify the column name to get the data. Now, here I'm giving the column name Okay, first you see the output so that you'll understand. What is the column name here? What is this column name? Max of EMPID. Otherwise, I can give the column number 1. By default, record pointer position top of the first row. rs.next will move the record pointer to here. Get the data available in the first column of the current row. Retrieve the data of the first column of the current row. rs dot get, because we have the employee ID, which is a numeric column, integer column. Get integer. To retrieve the integer data present in the result set, we use get in the column number or column name. I'm giving the column number 1. Get the integer data available in the first column. Return type is a integer. I'm storing in a variable maximum EMP number something. Now let me print it. The maximum EMP number I'm printing. Once my work done, better lastly, close the record set object and close the database connection object. It's not mandatory but preferred. Now, I made some code to establish database connection to RNHRM database. I sent some SQL query to fetch the data, store in the result set. Now I'm fetching the data from the result set. Get the data available, integer data available in the first column of the current row into some variable. I'm printing it. Let me run this code. You please observe the console output. It's your Java console output. What is the maximum employee ID here?
433.
434. Finally, your Java program able to get the data from database or not here? Your Java program able to fetch the data from database. So this is how you can retrieve the data from database. Okay, the practically where we use this concept in Selenium testing. Now see, for your understanding, I put it. Later what I will do, I declare a variable expected employee number. Other variable actual employee number. Expected employee number equal to the maximum employee number present in the database plus 1. This is the expected value. Maximum employee number 433 plus 1, 444. Now here, I write my Selenium code. I write my Selenium code. How? Here I write the code to launch RNHRM application. Here I write the code to launch RNHRM application. Then code for admin login. Then code to add new employee. Actually, here we have to write the Selenium code, correct? We have to write the Selenium code to launch the RNHRM, admin login, add a new employee, like this. Add new employee. Now, find this element, get the value property of this element, get attribute of value. This I store in the variable actual employee number equal to, you have to retrieve employee number display in application. Find the element, get attribute of value. Then we have to compare expected employee number with actual employee number. When both are same, we have to print System generated correct employee number, DB test pass. Otherwise, DB test fail. Now, you understand my logic here? Okay, we are retrieving the data from database. Okay, for what? What purpose? Here, I want to test a scenario in my project. When admin trying to add a new employee, system automatically generating some employee number. I want to validate through Java code, Selenium code, does the system generating valid employee number or not? How to check that the system generating valid employee number or not? First, we have to pick the maximum employee number in the database. The maximum employee number plus 1 would be the expected value. It is what I made in the code. Maximum employee number plus 1 I stored into expected value. Write the Selenium code to launch the application, log in, add employee, whatever the employee number displayed there, capture into the variable actual employee number. Now, we have to compare expected value and actual value. When both are same, test case pass, otherwise fail. So this is a practical scenario where we retrieve the data from database applications in Selenium test cases. Actually, I have to write the code here. Hope you understood the purpose. It's really very advanced concept. Maybe if you are giving more experience in Selenium, like 4+ years of experience in Selenium, then only you expect to have this kind of knowledge. Really beginner level people do not know, have idea about this kind of stuff. But as one of the students asked how to connect to database application using Java, today I explained this concept. This student, this word available. Siddheshwar, you send a mail to me about this, right? Siddheshwar, you are available in the class? You send me a mail about this, right? Siddheshwar? Venkat, allow the students to unmute. Venkat, allow the students to unmute. Some people, we have some little confusion here, right? No?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Confusion? Then you don't think, see, truly, if you are good in database concept, then only you can able to write this kind of program. But as one of the student asked, and the two, just maybe the next level, it may be helpful for you. As of now, don't consider much about this. Got it? If you really want to get the data from database application using Java programming, we have to make use of the Jdbc driver. The concept is this, whatever I teach you in the notepad. First, we have to make a database connection. At first, we have to make a database connection. Without knowing these details, you cannot make a database connection. If you have the knowledge about your database of your project, then only you can able to write this kind of script. After establishing the database connection, we have to send a SQL command to the database engine. Then we have to fetch the data from database and use the data, whatever you retrieve, for testing purpose.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So really, I mean, I think nobody is giving 3+ or 4+ extensively in Selenium, right? So let us have some clarity about this subject. Leave it because, very experienced people expected to have this kind of knowledge, not even 2-3 years. I mean, below 2-3 will not expected to have this kind of very advanced knowledge. But if asked how to fetch the data from database application in Selenium test cases, you may answer now using Jdbc drivers. What is a Jdbc driver? It is a plugin for Java to work with appropriate database application. Okay. What are the major steps involved? Establishing the database connection, sending the SQL queries, fetching the data from database, and use the data as per our test case requirement. Okay. What are the major classes or interface available in Java to work with databases? Connection, driver manager, statement, and the result set. Right. So listen. See, if it is SQL server, the database URL, Primus Bank application is SQL server, username and password. We have to create the instance of the SQL server.
Sir,
Connect-
share this.
Sorry. If it is SQL server, Primus Bank application database is SQL server. And establish the connection. Send a SQL command, select count of start from bank branch or something. Invoke the Primus Bank application. Count the number of branches available in the drop-down list. The count and database count will compare. When both are matched, yes, the drop-down list is showing all the branches. Some scenarios we have to fetch the data from database application. The same procedure we have to follow. But if you are good at database connections and all about your project, then only you can able to write this kind of SQL queries. Well, friends, I mean, whatever you understood, Kavita, I mean, it's enough. Don't focus more on this topic. Just in the interviews or maybe while working, if you encounter a scenario that how to work with database application using Java, to have some little knowledge about, okay, there is a Jdbc concept to work with database application, I explain this concept. Today I stop here, and tomorrow I'll explain you the Selenium grid. How to use Selenium grid to execute test case on multiple browsers at a time. I'll teach you tomorrow the Selenium grid. Okay?